What's up, guys? Welcome to your post-work physics class. This is a Thursday edition with a special rerun of Stellar Blade, a new pop star, and the start of Union Raid. Hope you guys have had a great start to your week, or whole week, mostly. We're almost to Friday. Depending on what time zone you're in, maybe you actually are already to Friday. So hopefully you're enjoying your weekend. Oh my god, yo, we have a lot of Union Raid currency coming in. I think we're on the last level already, so I will be doing some Union Raid testing. I mean, typically there's not really that much Union Raid testing that actually needs to be done. Like 90% of it is going to carry over from whatever the last Union Raid was, but it's still good to see we do have some new units since the last Union Raid, so I will be going through that. I just want to test out a couple things to see which elements do the most damage, and then particularly kind of see how good the electric team is now compared to before, because usually electric was like sort of one of the lower damage ones historically. And I kind of want to figure out which boss might be the tankiest as well. So I'll be doing my Union Raid attacks, and then I don't know if I'll be able to mock on hard mode yet or not, but hopefully at least towards the end of the stream we can. Yo, Arcana's got lots of things to say. Yap, 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 yap. Cool. Let me lower my desk slightly. That feels a little better. Alright, collect some things. I already posted on Discord. I think I already posted on Discord. By the way, I just put up a, re-review. Not really a full review. I guess you could call it a review. But, like, my thoughts on Eve and if she's worth pulling now. Because she is on Raid Up Banner right now. I think it lasts for 2 weeks. Let me double check on that. I don't actually know. Where does it say? I thought there was a little thing that showed up here that would say like how long they rated. But anyway, I think it's 3 weeks. And then we'll get Raven, of course, because we're doing a rerun of the Stellar Blade event, and I still think there's some of the best iron units in the game, but watch that video if you haven't already, especially if you're a newer player and you're like, should I be getting these old collab units? We just hit anniversary, everyone's telling me mint is great, what is happening? A lot is happening, that's what's happening. And they're all good units, so it's kind of hard to make a bad choice from that perspective, but you only have so many resources. I'm not a whale. I'm assuming most of you guys aren't whales. So, you know, you got to make decisions. And there are a lot of decisions to be made currently. So I'm going to clean out some stuff from the shop. And then I'll check in with chat in a minute. Just going to... Ooh, nice. It's a double Corda stay. That's always good. Anything else worth buying in here? Okay, cool. We got some Tetra modules. Any day that it's re-energy, it just feels like such a waste. We'll grab these two and these, and you never know, maybe we'll grab mint. I probably don't want to spend gold tickets for mint, but you know, I said that mint would be good in my skill analysis, and it looks like she's just as good, if not even slightly better than I said. Quite a good unit, but more than likely we're going to be grabbing a neon with some gold tickets. Don't have enough currency to buy anything in here, and yeah, let's go ahead and check in with chat. Oh wow, there's a lot happening in chat already. Let's see. Armin Corkwell, Sudden But Inevitable, Bob, Dr. Yiggles, Dr. Yiggles number 2, Vermouth Olive, Vic, what's up? What's up, guys? Let's see. Hello, Prika. Yeah, some people are just waiting on mint to try and get Prika. We got big Prika fans here in the community. What's up, guys? Who's hitting the event story? Mint is annoying. I'm gonna be honest, I skipped the event story so far. I mean, I didn't have time, you know, like life is busy, real work and stuff like that. various things to deal with. And so I just, before reset, I just went through and did the things and have not actually seen any of the story. But is Mint annoying? That's unfortunate if Mint is annoying. Hello. Hey, all. Hello. Hardmo's up to do mocks. Nice. Okay. Yo, we hit that pretty quick. Great work, everybody. Good job. Thank you to everybody in the union for having normal mode done. Whoa. What happened? Did we just get raided? Lone Syndicate is raiding with a party of 4. Lone Syndicate, I didn't even know you streamed. But that's dope. Welcome, Raiders. Star Silver Cosmos is following on Twitch. Thank you for the follow. Welcome, Raiders. G Brian 07 is following on Twitch. Thank you for the follow. Hello, Commanders. Hey, Warlock. Snow White is sadly not working well against Rebuild Vulcan. I kinda suspected that. I think McFlufferkins. Okay, that's a pretty great name. Thanks for the follow on Twitch as well. I think the thing about Rebuild Vulcan is like, in theory, you try and do Pierce, right? And you're like, oh, we'll need to like shoot the shield or whatever. But I think Union Raid is so easy nowadays as far as just like the bosses just kind of being bullet sponges that you can just destroy the thing, whatever it's called, before the shield even goes up, and like you kind of just like don't need to use it that much. So, but I'll also run my own Iron Teams as well. But good to know. Thank you for the intel. 26 days left on Eve's banner. Wow, so we're gonna have her for a whole month. Okay, I thought it was gonna be 2 weeks, but wow, that's cool. That definitely gives people a chance to get her. You're so torn. You want Eve, but you are afraid you will regret dipping below 600 mileage. I mean, why so afraid of dipping below 600 mileage? I could see like wanting to keep some in reserve, but like, do you need 600 mileage? If there's a unit you want, that's what the mileage is for, Let's see. This is the raid notification for Lone Syndicate. Cindy Raid, we ninjas emerge from the shadows to share the spirit of the hidden waifu village with you. We run with scissors to bring you forbidden jutsus, waifus, and hugs. We humbly hope you accept these gifts in our company. Honor your clan. All right. A lot going on there. Lone Syndicate, that just kind of, that was hilarious. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, been streaming and uploading on YouTube for almost 2 months now. Hey, that's cool. That's cool. I didn't know you started. I hope it's going well. I'll have to check out a video or something from you. Send me a link to your channel or something. Let's see. Because you have 6,000 gems, I mean, like I said, but if there's a unit you really want, you can use 200 gold tickets to get her. What about summer units? If there are 3 and you don't have enough gems, there's always decisions to make. Only you can choose what's right for you. Let's go to the outpost. Yeah, I would think by summer units you should have more polls saved. We don't know exactly when summer will start. Who knows? Tell you what I do need to start, though, is advising some units. So we'll advise Anise. Can't stop craving food. Glad to see you eating well. Want me to make you a meal plan? Let's see. Glad to see you eating well. Oh, no. I should have said, do you want a meal plan? Dude, that question is a trap. Like, there's no answering that question correctly. It's definitely a problem. Just remember these collab units may not come back, so just take it into consideration. Yeah, exactly. This will be your first summer with Nikke, so you have no idea what to expect. I mean, it's no different than any other event. They'll probably rerun some of the older summer units, and then we'll get probably 2 new summer units. So they are pretty big. Summer events outside of Anniversary and New Year's are probably the biggest event of the year. You gonna get Eve? Mint can languish on the wish list. That's the thing. I mean, I wouldn't stress about Mint. Even though Mint is really good, like, you know, there's a lot of good burst 2s, and yeah, it just I wouldn't stress. Just put it on the wish list. Summer's often super fun story-wise. What was the last summer one? I forget what the story was for it. Was that the haunted boat? Maybe it was the haunted boat. I'm not sure. Spoiler alert for last year's summer event. Let's see. Bunny milk. Hey pal, did you notice my new outfit? Are you curious about it? Ask me anything. Who are you trying to impress? Why do you have brass knuckles? Dude, these are like the dumbest brass knuckles. I talked about this when she first came out. That's not how brass knuckles work. I'm not sure. I guess they're just strapped onto her pom-poms and she can like pull them off and put them on how you would actually wear brass knuckles. I don't know. I think you're going to use Mint and Zwei for Vulcan. What are your burst 3s with that comp? Let's go again. Let's talk to Avastar. And Maiden. Guillotine? I have one more. You know what? I should talk to Arcana. Guillotine can wait. I have no idea. I read it sometimes when I'm bored. I guess it's a man thing? Okay. Interesting. Have you guys noticed? It's subtle, but when the game first came out, the commander's gender was left ambiguous. Now, naturally, like, most people probably assumed it was a guy, and occasionally we would see, like, something from the commander's perspective and see their hands, and maybe it looked male. But it was definitely left, like, you could potentially interpret it however you wanted. And more recently, they've sort of made things more explicitly male, that, like, the commander is a man. Because using Red Hood, Raven, or Bunny Milk, but you will suck at using Bunny Milk so you don't know. Yeah, Bunny Milk is kind of a pain in the butt. I was using her earlier for my Eve video. My Bunny Milk just isn't built enough to really be a factor. That's kind of my issue. You noticed that? You were wondering if it was just in English? Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, what else? All right, let's go to our event. Quick battle this. Shop, enter. Yeah. Is there no mini game? Am I crazy? There's no mini game for this event, is there? All right. Well, let's do our 5 event things. Skip. Gotta watch the video where a lawyer explains cultural shifts in South Korea through the lens of Nikke. Sounds interesting. I'm pretty sure I already know what it's gonna say. Not to say that it's not worth watching, but it is a topic that I'm fairly aware of. Korea definitely has some pretty strained gender relations, as the world does in general in a lot of ways, but Korea in particular. And it is interesting. Sparks, do you have a general idea on the bosses you'll be attacking? No, but we'll find out on stream, because I'm gonna mock each boss. When was the last time we had an event that did not have a minigame? Because before reset, when I logged in to do it, I was like, I don't see any minigame. I'm pretty sure there's no minigame. But it was like, I didn't have a lot of time. So I was like, alright, whatever. You know, if I don't get the minigame done today, it's fine. But yeah, confirmed, no minigame. Lone Syndicate got mint in 1 multi and tried going back for core 7. Bro, you're trying to core 7 mint? Oh, no, go back for core 7 Eve. Okay. I got Eve to core 5. Got Liberalia and Crown dupe. Pretty good. Pretty good. Glad you got mint on 1 multi. Is mint live? Yes, mint is live, Iron Thunder. Yeah, she was yesterday. You gotta log in. Dude, you're behind. Get in there. Snow Crane didn't have a minigame either. Okay. Glad someone's keeping track. You know 100% I'll attack heavy metal? Will I? Why? Because I want to use Eve? That, I mean, you know, that tracks. I will likely attack with an iron team just because I think that's where like most of our members are probably the most lacking. So if I can do good damage with iron, then I probably will. All right, to the shop. Most events that aren't voiced don't have a minigame. Okay, am I going crazy? I feel like I've been doing this for too long and I don't even remember. Didn't pretty much every event used to have a minigame? This is like a shift. Because we used to have all kinds of random minigames. Like even if it was just the roll the dice game or like waiting tables or whatever. I'll attack heavy metal because of Snow White heavy arms. Oh, wait, is it weak to water? Hold up. I don't know which boss is which right now. Heavy metal. Oh, it is weak to water. Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, most likely what I'll do, You're probably right about that, Vic. Most likely what I will do is probably attack with my 2 highest damage teams, which, yeah, will probably be, one of them will be water. And then attack one team that just, like, is like a struggle boss, you know what I mean? Which, we'll find out which is, like, the lowest damage one. Only big events have minigames. Dude, do I even play this game? When did that change though? Okay, because I don't know. I feel like we used to have minigames. Maybe I just went crazy. I feel like we used to have minigames for even the small events. But maybe I am crazy. You know what? It's getting kind of hot. Well, hold on. Let me go turn on some AC and I'll be right back. That's the wrong screen. There we go. Okay, I'm back. I'm making stuff up. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is going way back. Okay? Like way back. But did Laplace's event have like a full-on mini game, like mini map? And like, was it a quote-unquote bigger event? Because it had the dice rolling mini game. And I didn't think it had, like, anything else. Like, it was just a regular small event, right? And again, yes, that's like 3 years ago, so probably not relevant. But I swear that's true. Well, let's get some new stickers. Well, we got 1 new sticker. We did get 1 new sticker. More than I would have thought, to be honest. What temp do you keep your AC on? You set yours to 68? And your wife hates it? Well, I can tell you that the other people in my house would hate 68 too. Even for me, 68 might be like kind of too cold. It depends. And it anywhere from like 72 to 74 is where I, depending on how I'm feeling, that's where I keep mine. Am I pulling for mint? I think I'm going to do a multi and just see what the gods give me. But no, I mean, I have 2,600 gems, so yeah. All right, what do we do? Is there anything else to open here? No. What? Okay, it's the free recruit. I hate the notification of the free recruit. 68 is the optimal human temperature? I mean, maybe. A multi, not more. Why? Why? Because again, because I have 2,600 gems, Iron Thunder. That's why, not more. Okay, let's keep going with some dailies. Skip simulation. Skip buff selection. Who did the most damage? Anise. Thought it was hoarding for another banner? No, no. Alright, interception. Oh, hello. Kraken. Wait, quick battle. Nothing. Two. Not a great day. I mean, 2 is better than no custom modules. It definitely could be better. Hey Master Sparks, I am a pretty new nikke player and am currently stuck at Synchro level 120 because of core dust. Should you use your cases to get to level 137? Yes, but probably not all at once. So if you're stuck, I would use core dust to like level up a couple times or whatever you need to get unstuck and like push as far as you can. And then when you get stuck again, open up a few boxes and like keep going like that. So because every time you get further in the campaign, you will get more core dust for each box that you open. So you want to wait as long as you can. But that said, if you are stuck, you're going to be better off getting unstuck so you can push your level up more. So hopefully that makes sense and that helps. Custom modules is too much of a bottleneck. Yeah, especially after a big event where we get all spoiled that there was like full burst days and like a bunch of things giving you custom modules, and then when you're back to reality, it's like oof. Okay, can I beat anybody? Can I beat Ciola? Maybe. Probably not. Okay, let's go like this. And like this. I'm definitely at a pretty big disadvantage in most of these, but we'll see what we can do. Hello? Alright, so we won the middle match. Which one was that? This one. Okay, so let's swap team 2 and 3 and see what happens. You saw a guide that said wait to open cases until you can hit breakpoints like 121, 131, 141, that kind of thing. Is that accurate? I don't know if that matters too much. I mean, the reason why they're saying that probably is because you'll get like kind of a power spike in CP at those levels. So it's kind of like more worth it to get there. But I wouldn't stress too much about that. Might be worth equipping Destruction Cube for your DPS on heavy metal. I'll keep that in mind. Although my Destruction Cube is woefully low level. You want to do more optimizing of your neon, but you should probably work on anise and mince overlines. Yeah, I mean, probably. I mean, it depends, like, how good they are, right? But, like, generally, just going for 2 fine of optimization is, like, super diminishing returns, right? Feeling that nikke drought, but at least you got... Oh, man. I got a kink in my neck. Feeling that nikke drought, but at least you got spooked by Rappy Red Hood. Nice. That's a W. Just got to 180. Can't wait for more cases this mint event. Welcome to those that just joined the stream. If you're new, welcome to Nikke and welcome to my channel. Going through our dailies, and we're going to do some Union Raid mocks later. You meant 281, not 181? What's 100 levels? Sometimes I just randomly switch my Elysian team around. I kind of almost miss the days when Tribe Tower was a challenge. I think... I don't know. Sometimes... I've been playing Nikke a really long time, right? And eventually, I think things are just like a little too... figured out, or things can become a little too formulaic. And I've talked about this with why I'm not like super into solo raid for that reason. And even with like pushing hard mode, like I don't know, I like it used to be really hard, and now, as you know, for the last 2 updates, as soon as the new chapters drop, I've been able to clear them. And I kind of miss having to struggle and experiment. And like, I haven't beaten the chapter 46 boss on hard mode. But there is actually a team that I can beat it with. If you use both Helm and Moran and just like burst with both of them all the time, you can just like smooth brain the whole fight and clear it without ever even taking cover. Even at like a very significant CP difference, like I'm at like 22 something or 23 something. And I tried it, and I actually like quit out of the fight when there was like, I don't know, 10-15 seconds left. Because, I don't know, it kind of just made me disappointed. So, I'm going to try and do it with a different team. I'm still a little too weak to do it with any other team. But kind of like with the last boss, Ultria, I said, alright, my rule for myself is like I have to beat this with Eve. As opposed to just like the easiest team to beat it with. Because, I don't know, I like being able to just do something a little different, or having to like work for it. I bring all this up because like I just started with the Elysian team, right? Where I'm like, I don't know, sometimes I'll make Rapia burst 3 and then I'll throw in Double D as the burst 1, or I'll make Privity the off burst instead of Helm the off burst. Just gotta like switch things up, you know? Have you done normal Tribe Tower? Last stream, we did a bunch of normal Tribe Tower, and then it kind of started to get boring, so then I just stopped it and moved on to something else. But I had neglected it for a long time, so there were a lot of floors to beat. You think your best Elysian Burst 1 is still... Wait, your best Elysian Burst 1 is still SR Neon? Bro, oh, okay. That's rough. Did I beat Ultria? Yeah. My biggest issue with her was just the visuals. Like, it was legit sometimes just impossible for me to see the Halo things to shoot, which was frustrating. Because it's like, I don't know, it's, you know, if I can't see what I'm doing, I can't see what I'm doing, you know? Beating hard mode bosses with non-optimized teams could make good videos. That's true. I didn't even think about that. Maybe I should have recorded my my Ultria video. That honestly never even occurred to me. Need to turn on my like content creator brain, you know? All right, let's go back to the whatchamacallit. The lobby. Ooh, we're so close. We're so close to Rappy. Too close. What do you guys think of the mint outfit? Do you like this one? To be honest, I feel like I can barely tell the difference. Like, what does normal mint look like? Oh, I think I like normal mint better. Shocking, I know. The guy that always likes the normal outfits better. Rebuild Vulcan is going to be the issue this raid. Okay. So it's the one you're dealing the least damage to. It's the tankiest boss. That's good to know, Vic. Let's see. G. Brian says, I couldn't clear a boss on the chapter you were on without using high-level nikkes. The game gives. Is there a problem? No, not necessarily. And you know, me talking about like wanting to use different teams and stuff is just like my personal preference, right? Like you can use like, you know, if you're trying to progress through the game and you're a newer player, just like go with the strongest stuff you have, right? And note that like anytime you're in the red for recommended power level, unless you have like very meta teams, it could be a struggle for you. So no, there's not necessarily anything wrong, but I mean, it could be that you just need to like look at being able to like, you know, change up your teams a bit, or, you know, look into what the boss mechanics actually are, that kind of thing. Yeah, the skin on the pass is the retired NPC one. It looks pretty good, but I think I actually like her newer look better. Paskin is her in an original outfit? Yeah. Remove says, I mentioned this before, but a draft mode where better characters cost more could be a blast. It's doable to make it balance so much data from solo raid. I think that would be really cool too, honestly. I also think that's a good idea. All right, it's time to do some polls. So, let's do our daily, our free daily for Neon. Imagine I get a second free daily Neon poll. I think the internet would riot. All right, but maybe lightning can strike twice. Let's do this. Neon. If I pull Neon right here, at least 1,000 people need to subscribe right now. That would have been wild. That would have been wild. We did not get her. I don't need Eve. We already went to Core 7 Eve. So, mint. You think your team is good at using Anise, Crown, Rapid Rooted Hood, Vesti, and Made Mast? That is a pretty good team. You might just be too low of a level. Or like I said, you might need to look into whatever the boss mechanics are for the thing that you're stuck on. All right, Mint. We got one shot at this. You got baited by Siren for your free neon pole? Dude, you just pulled Siren on your free neon pole? I mean, that's almost as good. That's crazy. Congrats. Unless you already had her at core 7, then that's unfortunate. Good luck, Sparks. Thank you, thank you. All right, like I said, one shot. One shot at Mint. Come on, Mint. Please come home. Join your friend Anise. Mint. Mint, mint, mint. Ah! Denied. She said you need a breath mint. Oh my god. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait, what happened? Vermouth Olive has gifted a tier 1 sub to G Brian on Twitch. Well, congrats, G Brian, and thank you for the gifted sub, Vermouth Olive. How are your polls going? My poll went poorly. That's it. We're gonna have to put Mint on the wish list. Teams also get a huge bump when dolls unlock. Yeah. Things like getting your dolls on your the collectibles on your units will be a big CP buff for sure. You need to watch my other video. It's nice to have limited units. Yeah. Video just went up a couple hours ago. Check it out for my full thoughts on Eve right now. Also, G Brian, you should have access to some more emojis. Maybe I can get Mint on the Tetra mold. That's true. I'm gonna have to wait until she gets added to the pool to do that, though. You forgot about Raven. Is Eve better than Raven? I would say it's 50-50, but watch my video from today if you haven't already. Thank you for the luck. Appreciate it. The event is making them fold. Don't stress too much. I mean, yeah, Mint is good, but you know, there's a lot of good burst 2 supports, and she's a normal banner. She can go on the wish list. So don't get too down about it. Okay. Let's go to the Union. Wow, thank you, everybody. Thank you. We have completed. I didn't even have to do any attacks. Let me make a post really quick here. Hold on. Let's see. Please do your mocks. So your mock. That's not how you spell that. Please do your. Move my mic out of the way. John Long subscribed on YouTube. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Please do your mocks to get ready for hard mode tomorrow. It's up now. Prepare a team for all 5 bosses. Okay. Cool. You need your union members to be this proactive. It's difficult to get proactive people. You know, people come and go, and every now and then, you know, if I'm looking to recruit, I'll get a lot of applicants, and finding a person that actually cares or knows what they're doing can take some time. You're halfway through my video when the stream started, and you'll go back to it. Cool. Let's see. Eve has an S tier shooting animation, 100%. Quick question: when will you be doing that Nikke IQ tier list? Soon. It has to be in a time when there's not something else to talk about, and we got the big update. So, you know, maybe tomorrow or maybe like next week on Monday. It will, but soon. I haven't forgotten about it. Okay. So I'm just gonna go through this like element by element. It's highly unlikely that like I'm gonna use anything for wind other than what I have here, right? Like this is just the wind team. That said, I want to just see what my damage is for every element. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, new to Liberale SPS, Siren Velvet. Yeah. Let me move this over here. After this event, you put Mint near the bottom of the IQ tier list? Oh, dang, really? All right, so let's do this. Use the same team. I mean, this is the win team. Like it just there's extremely small chance that anyone would do anything else. Sudden says, my unit has a constant churn of like 6 to 8 members. I think some people don't realize just how difficult it is to just keep members doing anything. Like, you know, I mean, you have like your top unions that are like all whales, and so they are literally invested in it, right? They have spent a lot of money, and so they're very like self-motivated to do it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have spent a lot of money, right? But even in those unions, people come and go and switch unions, and some drop off and they have to merge with other unions. This is like not uncommon, even among very high-ranking, like top 10, top 20 unions, right? And that goes for all games too, not just Nikke. And so I think some people just don't realize like how hard that is to actually have a full union, or not go without missing more than like 1 or 2 people for more than one union raid. And then on top of that, trying to keep people actually knowledgeable about what's happening and use the correct teams. This is like definitely a big thing. And you know, 90% of unions out there, there's so many hundreds or even thousands of unions that are only going to have like 10 active people at a time or whatever, right? And it's very common. It's very common. Just did 3 multis and got mint? Wow, congrats. I wish I had 3 multis to do. All right, last 7 seconds. Vermouth Olive says, man, it's hard to get my 5-person tabletop group. Can't imagine admin a 3-person group, 30-person group. 32 people, actually. But yeah, I mean, it's a thing. You know, people are busy. There's real life. It's, you know, it is a thing. It is a thing. You know, developing a system to like get people on track and like keeping them engaged is a whole thing, you know. And I really appreciate each and every one of my union members for doing what they need to do. There's always room for improvement, and sometimes, you know, we have to make adjustments. But I really do appreciate people for trying to do their part, you know. Anyway, total damage. What is my total damage? Let's see, 22, 902, 740, 173. Okay. You have a lot of pity just sitting there because of half anniversary. Me too. I mean, I went from having like less than 200 gold tickets to now having like 650 or something. Okay, heavy metal. Now here's the thing. If I use Siren over there, I can't use Siren here. But I'm still going to record this, so I will use Siren, and then I will do a fight without Siren. So we'll see how this goes. Got Eve and Mint in 2 multis? Bro, you're on fire. Pulled a few more times for Eve and got another copy, then got the rest MLB with pity. Very nice. Don't forget to put Anise in the wish list. Yeah, it's nice that Anise went straight into the normal pool. Good reminder. The MLB Doro, a connoisseur. Absolutely. I mean, she's so good. She's worth it, right? Everybody don't get too distracted by the right lower corner of my screen, okay? We're focusing on damage here. Snow White should be the center of attention. So I'm going to run this with probably using Leader. I'll also try it with Anise. And I'm also going to try it by switching the cube on Snow White. So, yeah, I mean, fighting Like the win team, like I said, is just the win team. There's not a whole lot of choices for it. Like the only reason I would not attack using that team, I don't even know, honestly. I feel like for wind, it's either that team or you just don't attack with wind and use 3 other elements. Like I just, you know, you could. I have previously tested it with using like Leader or Moran instead of Siren, but yeah. What would you guys say is the next best option for shotgun team if one has no Summer Doro and is sad? So we're assuming you're using Tuve and Drake. They are like the linchpins of the shotgun team. And then best in slot burst 2 is probably going to be Arcana. But depending on what you're doing, you could be using Winter Brid or even Grave or Niuta in that slot. But for the other burst 3, it really depends, right? Because if you're using Celine, that's your burst cooldown, or if you're using Rouge to substitute as your burst cooldown or whatever, then you probably want to be using Maid Privity. She would be the next best thing to put in there instead of Doro. But if you're not doing burst cooldown, the best other shotgun is actually going to be Bunny Soda. She's going to be the strongest normal shotgun person. But then you got to figure out who you're using for your 5th person, because then you're not going to use burst cooldown because she extends the burst range. Let's see. Vic says it's nice to use Niuta and Siren elsewhere if you do skip wind. Yeah, that's true. It opens up a lot of options if you don't attack with wind. Okay, so we did 27. So let's go to... we record this. 27820 013 899. Okay, so, whoa, what happened? So we're going to go back to heavy metal, because this is the team that I think probably has the most room for change. And before I end up switching the teams, I'm just going to switch the cube on Snow White. Just to see how we do with the Destruction Cube. And see if that actually makes my damage go up. But again, I'm only level 10 on Destruction Cube. So it might not be worth it, but this is why we test, right? I did save that, right? Just double check. Yeah, okay. So we'll see if a level 10 Destruction Cube, because obviously this guy has a ton of parts, always regenerating. We'll see if that increases damage. Vic says, I'm not going to attack electric, so you put Anise on your water team. Makes sense to me. Like I said, I'm going to try this with both Anise and Leader on this team. Maybe even Moran too, although I'm not sure if that's really much of a point in doing that one, but yeah. Everyone should be doing Anise no matter what, right? Whatever element you're using, you need to make sure you're using Anise on one of your teams. Um, Obviously, if you're using electric team, you probably want to use her there. But if you're not using her on her electric team, she should go somewhere else, such as on this team. For Union Raid, is it ideal for newer players to just attack whenever element we can do the best on? Yeah, I mean, assuming you haven't been given like some kind of specific instructions, just pick the 3 things you can do the most damage to, right? Which is what most people should be doing. I mean, not all the time, because sometimes, I don't know, it's getting more complicated. But like if you're actually killing bosses sometimes, then you need to make sure you're attacking some other bosses. But yes, as a newer player, basically just attack the 3 things you can do the most damage to. Rick says, he says for a parts boss, level 10 destruction is better than level 15 resistance. Well, we're about to find out. I think on the last Union Raid, I believe I had a level 8 destruction cube, and it was worse, but level 10 might be better. What's up, Peeper? Welcome to the stream. He says, hi, love the vids. Started playing 2 months ago. I pulled OG Scarlet and Trina early and dumped everything into them. Are they power kept a ton now? Any use case for them late game like where you are? Well, welcome to my channel and welcome to Nikke. They are extremely good in Arena. Trina and Scarlet are like a top tier team. In PvE, not so much. Although we just had an Electric Week raid where they would have been very good. Trina may or may not get used. Scarlet is hard to keep alive without her, but she did still make it onto top tier raid teams when it was weak to electric like this last time. So, yeah, Scarlet's kind of in power crept, but there are still places to use her. And if you put a ton of resources into them, she's probably still going to help you like push campaign. She's got great AoE. It's not going to be the best thing, but they're stronger than definitely some other things out there. Alright, so we did slightly less damage. Now, there could be variance, right? We only did 1 run with each. But this was lower. So this was 27, 138... 286, 629. So I might test this a little bit more on my own to see if this was due to variance. But this, in these 2 tests, this was lower. I was better off with the resilience cube. We're just going to go back to resilience for the moment. Who? Oh, Isabel. There we go. You would even rock the skin if they give it to you for free. Dude, that skin is the biggest fuck up Shift Up has ever made. There's a lot of unhappy people about that skin. It is a very good skin, and yes, it should be for free. Did you only give destruction to Snow White Heavy Arms? Yes, I did. Alright, so we're going to put Anise on here now and see how this compares. In theory, yeah, I would put Destruction Cube on Dorothy as well. And like I said, I'll do a couple more tests on my own later to see if that was just due to variance, but just putting the Destruction Cube on Snow White still brought the damage down. Right, this is correct. Let's mock. Let's see, so this is crown. Hold on, let me type this in. Using crown, Anise, Snow White Heavy Arms, Dorothy, Privity. Trying to build favorite item Ron right now to pair with Anise. Do you think they are good versus one combo? In some cases, yes. Like I was saying, the like smooth brain strategy for beating the last boss in campaign is to use the two of them. Most of the time it's not worth it, but in some cases, yes. Vic says, I gave destruction to Anise, Snow White Heavy Arms, Eleg, and Privity. Crown kept resilience. I'm surprised you didn't leave resilience on Privity too, but I guess that's what you got the most damage with. Yeah, destruction? Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. $30 seconds left. Hydrate, everybody. Hydrate. All right, massive power bump to be expected. Let's see, 31, 901, 640, 893. Alright, so that is by far the most, but again, I don't know if I want to use Anise here, but it's just good to get that that on record. Where the... oh, okay. Alright, we're going to do the same thing again. I know we've done this a million times. But I'm going to do this with Leader, and then we're also going to do it with Moran. You know, whether I'll actually use Leader and Moran at all is debatable. We'll find out. But I want all the data I can for Heavy Metal, because Heavy Metal is almost certainly going to be one of my 3 attacks, and so I want to make sure I'm optimized the most possible. And then, like, depending on what other teams I'm using, I can swap out the burst 1 as needed, you know? So we're just gathering data. Have you played Stellar Blade or just a fan of Eve? Have I played Stellar Blade? Yes, I have. It's actually one of my favorite games of all time. I played it right away on launch. I got it for the PS5. I've done literally everything possible there is to do in that game. I streamed a full playthrough of it. I have videos of every boss battle that I beat the first time on my channel. I've gone through the entire game 4 or 5 times. I've beaten all of the boss challenges, including all the hard boss challenges, hard mode, all the DLC. I've found every single secret there is, gotten the Platinum Trophy, more things than are even required for the Platinum Trophy. So yes, yes, I have played Stellar Blade. Had I not previously tested this with the Leader? Hold up. I'm looking back at old, because I always just record my damage numbers for all Union raids for my mocks, just to see what my options are out there. I guess I haven't tested this with Leader previously. This particular comp with Leader, I should say. Obviously, I've done a lot of things with Leader in the past. But... Alright, Crown, Leader, Snow White Heavy Arms, Dorothy, Privity. I guess you shouldn't have clicked, just watch the new video recommending her today. No worries, man. No. It's cool. I mean, you're new to the channel. How would you possibly know? Leader got a retired Union raid? Yeah, probably. Unlikely to use Leader. $24.9. Yeah, that's not great. Let's record this though. 24. All right. Next one, we're gonna do one more run, and I'm gonna use Moran on this one. Unlikely to use Moran here, but again, we're just like collecting data. And then just for completion's sake, I'm going to put Rappy on here. That would be a ridiculous thing to do because you just use Rappy on a different team. But we're going through all the burst ones, so you know what? We're going to do that. Let's see. Ooh, a lot of chats happen. What's up, Mal? Welcome to the stream. Vermouth says, for folk my age, the game would do everything. It was TIE Fighter. TIE Fighter. Wait, is that a Star Wars game? Can you say why Stellar Blade is so good for replay? It's just really challenging. The combat is really, really fun. The bosses are, you know, very dynamic. They're very fun to fight. Mastering the parry system is cool. It's just a lot of fun. And also there are multiple endings. So if you want to see the multiple endings, there are like 3 different endings that you can go through. And there's just a ton of collectibles for you to find. Optional things like new outfits and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things you can get into if you're a completionist. But ultimately, just the gameplay, like the combat, is like some of the best I've played in any game. Big Sun says, Sparks, can we use label for Union Raid? I mean, yeah, I guess. What do you mean? Let's see. Are you pulling for mint or are you waiting for best girl pre-cut? I did 1 pull for mint. I don't have any more gems left, and so she goes on the wish list. You like using Raven still? She's still decent in solo raid. Yeah, Raven is good. She's definitely one that you will use in Iron Week solo raids for sure. The poll did not go well. I did 1 multi for mint and I did not get her. Nice, you got an East MLB. Very good, very good. And Neon. Congrats. Vile Glory says, Stellar Blade got me into Nikke. Yo, that's pretty cool. Then I guess the collab worked. Zhang Chen says, I did 1 multi for Eve and Mint. Snagged Eve, but no Mint. Well, hey, Mint can go on the wish list. Eve is going away, so congrats on getting the Eve. Also, sorry for the undoubtedly bad pronunciation of your name. Mint is a trap banner. I mean, she's good. Depending on your definition of a trap banner, I don't know if I'd say that. Like, but yeah, there are things to keep in mind, like limited summer units that are coming down the line soon. Hey, we have another person who says that Stellar Blade is what got them into Nikke. Nice. Alright, so we did 25-8. Wait, who was this with Moran? With Moran. Let me record this. So Crown, Moran. Wait, who else did I use? Oh, and then just the rest of the normal people. Okay. Snow White Heavy Arms, Dorothy, Privity. $25. 887 855 621. Wasn't the collab, it was just the game's original release. Oh, okay, nice. And you just like heard of Nikke after playing Stellar Blade because you like looked up other things that Shift update or something? Someone's got to replace your 10-10-10 Trina, and it's not going to be Crown, unfortunately. Hey, Trina is still very usable with Scarlet. I mean, it's a strategy you can do. It's, you know... I'm guessing it means you don't have Crown, though. What figures do you have on in the display case? So right here in the middle is Rappy. And then right next to her is 2B. And then on the other side of Rappy is Acracia. She's from Shift Up's original game, Destiny Child. And then we have Minamoko no Raikou here from FGO. And then Mari from Evangelion. Volume. And then can't see down on the bottom. But I also have 2 Azure Lane figures down there. And then up above, you can't see it, but on the top of the case, there is Ray from Evangelion, and geez, I can't remember the name. That's gonna drive me crazy. Hold up, dude. When you're trying to think of things and you're in the middle of streaming, sometimes it's hard. Let's see. Mesmer. There we go. You can't see him, but Mesmer from Elden Ring is up there as well. Bruh. All I could think of was Radon, and I'm like, I know that's not Radon. I don't know why. Still hoping for Summer Moran? Dude, I'm also hoping for Summer Moran. You remember asking about help with Iron Anomaly a few weeks back, and who'd have seen the Stellar Blade rerun? Yeah, dude. That should help if you build them a lot. The Raikou is new? Yeah. I think the newest figure I have in here is 2B, and before that it was Raikou. Alright, time to move on to Modernia. This might be the tankiest boss. We'll see. So something to note. This is not necessarily the best team, but it has historically been the best for me. So just want to like point that out. Like things can vary. But yeah. Hold on, let me see something. Wrapping your arm, Modernia. Okay, yeah. We'll see. So we're gonna do a few variations, because depending on the boss, it could change. But we're gonna mock this. They should consider tapping those Destiny Child assets. Yeah, they should. I mean, in a way, they have. They've definitely borrowed some designs from characters and made them skins for Nikke's already. Like Summer Rosanna is a carbon copy of a Destiny Child skin, and so was Red Hood's dress. Vic says, I'm gonna buy a Snow White Heavy Arms figure, posting the Discord if it ever drops. Oh, I remember you posting that. That did look pretty crazy. Hoping for a Tronny favorite item. It'll happen eventually. I mean, I don't think she's that unpopular. She is a decently liked character. Nick says, have Mihara burst second. Oh, I've not been paying attention. Apparently I couldn't ignore the QTE. So we have to retry this. We'll try with Mihara bursting second. We can switch it up. Joined a new union after 6 months, hoping to be able to progress your cubes better. Nice, I hope you do. Having to actually do the QTEs is a little annoying while doing this on stream, because that means I can't just watch chat. Where do you guys buy figures? Usually Ami. Obviously there's a lot of places online you can buy them, but Ami is the big one. A little more light in here, it's starting to get dark. How do we get Modernia bursting? I don't know how that happened. The burst cooldown was so fast from Rappy with the fill speed. We actually got Modernia on one burst. Well, we're gonna have to be careful of that. Shipping cost is crazy, 100%. Yeah, you can buy them at cons for sure. Anime Expo or whatever, there's usually a lot of vendors that will have things like that. Depending on what area you live in, like, if I go to any, like, well, I shouldn't say any, but a lot of shopping centers, like, around here will have, like, weeb stores or just collectible things, pop-up mart, whatever. They'll have a lot of different figures that you can buy from. Thing is, usually they're kind of expensive, although then obviously you're not having to pay for shipping, so there's just give and take there. Oh, fuck. Well, hopefully we don't die. How long was the mission? Did we die? No, we did not die. Okay, alright. It just ended. Because I was reading chat again and then missed the sword swipe. Yes, this is Union Raid. Yeah, so the HP isn't going to move, right? We're just testing damage. Okay, so, alright, so let's see. This was, who did I use here? I had Grave, Rappy, Mihara, Ray, Modernia. Okay. So our total damage... 14, 760, 207, 823. Yeah, a lot of times those stores still end up being more, even considering shipping. It's true, it's true. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing and just swap the positions of Rei and Mihara. So we'll see if that makes a difference. I think that probably is a good tip, to be honest. No, no, no. Not weed. Weed. Now there is potential to completely mix things up and actually use Anise as the burst 1 and then switch Rappy to burst 3 duty. There's going to be a lot of iterations to test here. Alright, there's our one burst from Modernia. So like I said, on a real run, I would need to manage that and make sure she didn't actually burst there by holding the burst for like half a second. But as long as we're consistent with her bursting once per testing, then, you know, it doesn't matter. Alright. Let's see, what was our previous damage? Yeah, now again, I need to do this multiple times, which I will do off stream, so you guys just don't watch the same exact thing over and over, because there could be variance. But that did result in more damage. So, I mean, in theory, that is better. So let's see, that was 15, 293, 388, oops. Did you build Christmas Brid by any chance? Yes, I did. Although not like super built. We can actually ignore the QTEs at high levels. So I tried ignoring the QTEs, and I was not able to ignore the QTE. I don't know if you were watching with what happened there. But I got stunned. Alright, so let's go in. And we're gonna try something different here. So let's see the next possible one. Oops. Let's see, do I want to... Sorry, I'm reading through previous like records damage numbers to see what combination of other burst 3s I want to do. Give me a second. Let's see, so... Anise... Rappy, and then let's see... Huh, I didn't test the two versions of that. Alright, well, we're going to do two different ones. So we'll run it like this. And then I will also run it with Mihara being off burst and using Ray here, which will probably not be what we want to do, but we'll see, we'll see. Would you guys say Pridewind tiers are fairly trustworthy? Well, they have a pretty bad rep in the community, I'm going to be honest. And I personally don't use them. That said, I mean, overall, like, yeah, I think they get a lot of, like, undeserved hate, you know? It'll give you a decent idea. Is very questionable at times. It certainly is questionable at times, yes. If you want a good tier list, watch my tier list. That's all the more I'll say about that. There are other websites, just so you know. So you got like nikke.gg, or myself, like I said. Some of their comments about the pros and cons of Nikke's make you cringe. Yeah. You wouldn't say undeserved, their lists aren't the best. It's true, it's... I don't know. I just... It's another resource for the community to factor in if they're trying to look at different options. Did end up with a burst from the journey at the end, but again, that's happened every run, and so, like I said, as long as I'm paying attention to that on a real raid and it's happening every run consistently, then that's fine. It doesn't mess up the comparison numbers. Okay, all right. So, what did we get? Not nearly as much as I was expecting, to be honest. I thought this was going to get boosted by a lot more than it was. Now, I still wouldn't necessarily have recommended this as being the best thing to do, because you can use Anise in other places. But I thought this damage was going to be higher. Alright, so 17, 590, 762, 399. Alright. Oh, I didn't even change the team. Just hit mock battle. Hold up. Val Glory says, I don't take their list too seriously in general, especially for an active game. They're living documents, after all. Yeah, yeah. Things are always changing. Most tier lists you've seen are pretty similar. The internet is kind of an echo chamber, okay? It's hard to find independent thought or people that are making something specifically for what you're looking for. There's a lot of people just copying and referencing the same thing or referencing each other, and there isn't real stuff out there. I'm not saying that my tier list is the end all be all, but I think that you'll find mine to possibly be different than other ones that you've seen, and I'm very clear on like what the metrics are and what the game modes are that I'm concerned with. I look at data from both, like, what other high-level ranking raids have gotten, what I do my own testing of, and all the kinds of things. So, anyway, I just... You're going to find very samey tier list on a lot of different websites. And that's to be expected. That's to be expected. Okay, so what I wanted to do here, what I was trying to do was do this. Okay, we'll see how this goes. It's very unlikely that I use Anise here anyway, but again, I want to have as many options, a complete picture, to see what boss I actually want to end up fighting. And so maybe Anise does go here. Who knows? I've previously, by the way, Vic, going back to I think what you were probably going to suggest, I have done tests using Brid, and my damage has been far lower, just FYI. Yes, and that is an excellent point, Dr. Eagles. Tier lists mean that that is what was good for the person who tested. I mean, a lot of people don't even test, but you know, it's relative to that thing. Because yes, build can make a huge difference. If you got better overload lines on some units versus others, it's not going to be the same as somebody else's, right? There's a lot of factors, and yes, I think for any tier list, even mine, use it as a starting point. That'll give you a general idea, and then you need to see what works for your teams on your account. Ooh, I looked at chat and almost didn't get those. And this is something that I actually talk about with the people in my own union. We have a guide that is put together by one of our sub-leaders, Vic, who's in chat. And it's a great starting point. And he has a lot of good information. That said, I always tell people, still do your own mocks. Test your teams, right? Because, like Dr. Heroes was pointing out, your units are going to be different. Don't just copy something and expect it to be the best. And you know, you gotta see what'll actually work with what the resources are that you have. But you know, if you've like stepped away from the game and are coming back and trying to see, like, okay, who's good now? What's the meta looking like? Or you're starting the game and you want to try and re-roll, or you know, like whatever. Like tier lists are great to kind of give you a framework, see the potential of things, a starting point. They're not useless, but mostly they're for fun and don't take things too seriously. What are you supposed to focus on this raid? Fight the 3 attempts on the bosses, or 1 fight or boss slash element? You probably don't want to attack the same boss more than once, because you can't use units more than once. So you'll probably attack 3 different bosses. Vermouth says, I did my own testing, result crown is crazy. Yeah, pretty much. Otaku Gamer says, not gonna lie, I found you through the 2026 Nikke tier list, and remember you emphasizing it being from a PvE perspective and that it was such a breath of fresh air. Well, thank you, and thanks for watching my stuff. Taking all that into account, there are definitely meta units, and tier lists seem to be a good way to find out which ones those are. Yeah. Like I said, good starting point. I missed guild auction on Dragon Traveler. Oh no. Neroid, I haven't even bought anything from guild auction for like the last 2 months or something. At this point, I've gotten to where I just want to like save the gems, you know? Investing in Anise and Neon drained you dry of gear, skill books, rocks, and of course gems. Yeah, you and everybody else, bro. Okay, so what do we do here? I used Grave, Anise, Rappy. Did I use Ray? I used Ray and then Mihara? Yeah. Ray, Mihara. Alright, and this time we did 18. And this was better. Okay, so using Ray and then Mihara off burst was better than using Mihara and Modernia off burst. That said, we did have the one burst from Modernia. So if I actually go with this team, I may run it again just to see if I can squeeze out a little more damage. But this is going to be extremely similar either way. Okay, let's see. So 6, 3, 0, 0, 4, 9. This is the one that I expected to be slightly better anyway. So that kind of makes sense. But it might all be a moot point because we don't even use Anise here. You never know. Sudden says, I haven't played Dragon Traveler since the last Friday. You might be on your way out of it. I'm starting to feel the burnout too, Sudden. I don't blame you. Are all the Union raids always the same in terms of bosses and optimal teams? No, the bosses change every single raid, and teams will stay somewhat similar, but they will change, which again is why I'm running through different configurations right now. Oh, Dr. Eels says they added newer units to the auctions, like Loki, Venus, and Apollo. That's worth noting, Dr. Eels. I haven't even looked at the guild auctions on Dragon Traveler recently, so I wouldn't have even known that, to be honest. So thanks for the intel. Okay, so I'm going to fight Rebuild Vulcan. I'm going to let in a little more light. Hold on. Rebuild Vulcan. Okay, so weak to iron. Iron is another one that's kind of weird. This is what I got the most damage with last time. Nikke spoiled you for gotchas. It's hard for you to stay engaged without a good story. Yeah, and most gotchas have terrible stories, right? Like it's very rare to find one with a good story. Okay, so let me take a look at this. Give me a second. This is not what I got the highest damage with last time. Let's see. Oh, wait. It is. Okay, so I'll do one mock with this, and then again we'll switch it up and try a few different things. Again, don't get too distracted by the lower right-hand corner of my screen. There's nothing to see there. The pity is really, really good on Nikke too, yeah. Just the gold ticket system is pretty unmatched. Like the rates, like you feel like you're getting new units constantly on Dragon Traveler, and honestly the rates are pretty good. We didn't manage to destroy the head. Hold up, I'm gonna restart this really quick. And let me see if by manualing I can destroy it before the shield goes up. Sometimes you just don't have to worry about it. It kind of takes care of itself. Or is this a boss where you can destroy the head? Is there a thing, or does it just put up its shield no matter what? There isn't anything to shoot. Maybe only Rebuild Stout has that? Does Vulcan not have a head to destroy before the shield comes up? Is that not a thing? Maybe that's not a thing on this boss. If you were getting Eve before, now you would. Yeah, it kind of looks like the shield just goes up no matter what. I don't think you can stop the shield from coming up. Unless I'm still missing something. I think we have to pierce here. Otherwise their damage is going to be tanked. I think it's rebuild Stout, where if you destroy its head fast enough, you don't have to worry about the shield. But it looks like with the rebuild Vulcan, you need to worry about the shield. You have to have a shield plan. Okay, hold up. Nikke is proud of their story and wants you to read it. Yeah, for sure. All right, so that could change. Oh, what a pain in the butt. That could change these iron teams quite a bit. So okay, we're just gonna commit to full auto because I don't think I can stop the shield. So we're just gonna run this team and then we're gonna do some other variations afterwards. Am I missing something here? I don't think we can stop the shield on this, unless I'm not seeing something. How to deal with that shield? Yeah. I think you just have to pierce. Pierce will increase your damage a lot, because it doesn't matter if it has a shield or not. But like I said, on some of the rebuild versions of bosses, there's a little part on it with a core that you can destroy to prevent the shield. Nikke also has a banger soundtrack, yeah. Dude, Stout is probably going to be miserable. We probably need everybody to do at least one attack on Stout, I bet. I'm already feeling like the damage is probably going to be super low. You have 600 tickets right now and went through pretty much everything you had with Anniversary. And then Eve and Mint should be good for Summer. You want both Summer reruns as well. So basically you're just trying to get everything. This is a pretty good banger soundtrack right now, by the way. By the way, I don't think we're going to get to Dragon Traveler tonight, just because we are doing so many raid attacks. We're probably going to just keep doing this until the end. Maybe that too many units are power crept. I mean, that's just the nature of these kind of games. Units are going to get power crept. I will say, from my experience, Shift Up actually manages power creep better than most games. A lot of these units have a very long life. Okay, so this was with Miranda, Rappy, Aid, Eve, and Summerhelm. And we did 16844 052 345. Hey, welcome those that were just joining the stream. If you haven't already, hit that sub button or follow if you're watching on Twitch. If you're finding this interesting, just want to chill, see more Nikke stuff. I stream all the time, make videos all the time. Okay. Let's do a crown variant. This one probably will still not be amazing, but Crown, Rappy, Eve, Raven. Should I do Mast? Try Mast. I can also try Helm. If this is even like remotely good, then I'll try it with Helm here as well. But I think we probably just want to use Red Hood, to be honest. But we'll see how this goes. I also need to try Snow White teams. But this was my second highest damaging team on a previous Iron Raid. So we'll see how this goes on this one. Let's see. So just so far, our best score for wind. Wait, for wind? No, our best score for water, doing over 31 billion, was with Crown, Anise, Snow White Heavy Arms, Summer Dorothy, and Privity. Our best for fire was with Grave, Anise, Rappy, Ray, and Mihara, doing 18.6 billion. And we are now testing iron teams. So we still have to test electric. Well, also, and so for wind, obviously just using the standard team of Nayuta, Libralio, Black Shadow, Scarlet, Siren, and Velvet. Our best damage was 22.9 billion. So we haven't done any electric attacks yet, but we still have several iron teams to test. Privity can be used elsewhere if you don't attack water. So much stuff to consider. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of crazy. And I think, like I said, this iron one is going to be the biggest mess. Because, like I said, if this team does reasonably well, I'll test it. Instead of, I'll take out Mast, I'll put in Helm. I will also then take out Helm and put in Privity. I need to do a Snow White team. And I need to do a Red Hood team. Also using Bunny Milk. But my Bunny Milk is not really built. So for me, testing bunny milk is not going to be super relevant. I think the best team for me might be using Red Hood and Eve as the DPS units. We'll see. We'll see what the math actually maths. Okay, so this team did almost exactly the same damage. Almost exactly the same damage as the one with Miranda and Summerhelm. That's funny. Okay. 7, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5, 5, 2, 4. You'd make an announcement tomorrow about having all heavy hitters being required to hit iron bosses once. Yeah, I agree, Vic. It seems like Vulcan is an issue. I think this is the tankiest boss. Okay. Okay, before I do all variations of this, of like, all right, now I'm going to do Privy, now I'm going to do Helm. Let's just try... try doing a different team. I'll do the Snow White team. Bunny Milk, one of the most fun characters just because of how much potential they have. Manual, yes, yes. Bunny Milk is quite strong. I actually talked about her in the video about Eve and Raven. Okay, so we want Miranda, Snow White, Crown. Where's Ada? Here we go. Like Ada.
How about it?
And Summerhelm. Okay. I believe, Vic, you already did some testing here, and you said that Snow White was not doing super great. But we'll test this. We'll see how this goes. Do you need to do something special to join the Discord? No, not at all. Let me put a link in chat. Here's a link to my Discord. Everyone's welcome. I think I might want to burst with Snow White second, because let me see. When does he put up his shield? Because we can pierce through the shield with the burst from Snow White. But let's see. I don't know what the timing is of when he puts it up. Okay, shield goes up. Oh no, this is the right order. We want to burst with Snow White first, because then her second one will go through the shield. Okay, okay, cool. You just watched the Eve video? Nice. Hey, thanks for the reminder, Sudden. He says if you're over here on the YouTube side, don't forget to like the stream. I need to refill my water, so I will be right back. Let's see, I'll let you guys keep watching this. We'll just turn off my camera. Where the fuck? There we go. Okay, we're back. Did anything crazy happen while I was gone? Let's see. Snow White used her shot on projectiles. Ugh. F my life. Snow White, why you gotta do me like that? Alright, well I guess we'll just... Whatever, we got 14 seconds left. Let's see what this is and then I'll retry it. Why would she shoot it on projectiles? That's so annoying. Can't leave you alone for 1 minute. Okay, that was terrible anyway. Okay, wait, did she only use one shot on projectiles? Unless that happened like a bunch of times, which I wasn't gone that long. That was really bad damage. So... there isn't really any point in even running that again. Because there's no way I'm going to do another 7 billion damage. Just with one more burst shot. Dude, she definitely trolled someone. But here, we'll record this. 9019 270 539. It was only the one shot. All right, well then fuck it. We're not doing it again. That's not a strategy worth pursuing. Okay. Okay. Well, let's do the one that I'm just like suspecting to be the best. Vermouth has got to go for dinner. All right, well, thanks for hanging out, man. Enjoy your dinner. Okay, so this time we'll do Crown, Rappy, Red Hood, Eve. And for consistency, we'll do Mast, because that'll be directly comparable to the other one that I did with Mast. Alright, let's see what happens. Let's see. So that was crown. Sorry. It's like anytime I go like awkwardly silent, assume I'm like reading through numbers as I'm like reading what happened on previous tests to get a good idea of what I might want to try. How did Mask get stunned for a second there? All right, Red Hood, Eve, Mast. Can't focus because of Eve? Bruh. Like I said, just ignore that right side of my screen. Okay, so I think this will probably be our best damage so far. We'll see, though. We'll see. Sometimes things surprise you. But see how I'm getting those crit hits with Eve all the time, even with the shield is up? Like, it's just, you know... Sorry, with Eve, with Red Hood. So it's just, like, gonna rack up our damage. When normally the damage would just be going to that shield only, you know what I mean? Now, there could also be some play to this where you, like, hold your burst for a couple seconds because you know that, like, the shield is going to go down or come up or whatever, that kind of thing. And that will also require more reps to actually see what the best timing is. But again, I'm not going to run the exact same team 10 times while I'm on stream because that's just, like, not interesting to watch at all. But once I find what the best team is, then I'll do multiple runs to actually see what works with that, you know? Red Hood's backside is hypnotizing too. Yeah, we got a lot going on here. God save this stream. Please don't take it down. If we're struggling with iron, weaker members will definitely struggle. Oh, 100%. Okay, actually, this was not the best. It's close, but I still did the most damage. With the original teams. So using Rappy, Crown, Eve, Raven, and Mast actually did slightly more damage. But let me record this. So 15. I thought the Pierce was going to make a huge difference. Not really. This is a rough one for sure. Okay, so what are some other potential options here? Now again, maybe it's not Mast. Maybe it ends up being Privity or Helm. But we've used Mast across the board just to keep it consistent. Her glory days are over. I mean, it's not like she was bad. It was close. It was close, but yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't better. I think she shines more on Rebuild Stout because when she pierces through, she also hits the head core part, which results in a lot of damage. Any ideas, chat? Any ideas of what I should try next? And like I said, Bunny Milk could be great for most people. She's very strong. But mine has not been optimized. And you can see here I only have the one copy of her. So she's not going to compare to some of these other units. But I would recommend other people. Have I tried Idol Sun? Maybe I should do that. Yeah, there's not that many iron damage dealers, it's true. Alright, what if we try and think outside the box here? Well, actually, before we get too crazy with outside the box thinking, what if we use Rappy as a burst 3? And if I use... Before I was using her and Miranda and Summer Helm, okay? But maybe we just don't need to do that. Because if I'm using as my 3 Siren, Anise, and Rappy, but if Rappy's a burst 3, and I'm not going to do the Summer Helm Miranda combo, alternatively, I could use Siren here potentially. Because if I don't attack with wind, maybe I do that. We'll just run this and see what kind of score we get like this. What's the background music? Yeah, it's Stellar Blade background music. Dude, this boss sucks. So after this, I'll also do it with Anise instead of Siren. And then we might try something just different. Like, what if I use Nayuta here? Because would Nayuta's AoE hit behind the shield all the time? Because, like, again, if I'm not attacking wind, maybe Nayuta's good in this situation. With her hand always hitting the boss. So what I'm going to need to do, to kind of give you a picture of what the overall strategy is. Basically, the goal is to get the Union to level 2 bosses as quickly as possible. Okay? Because what we don't want is for a bunch of people having to attack, you know, like 15 people don't attack this boss, and then we have 15 people that have to attack this boss twice. So they're like off element. That's terrible, right? So we're going to have everybody attack this boss at least once until it's dead. So what that means is I need to find my best total damage that includes attacking this boss. So I'm going to need to do a lot of adding of different scenarios, right? And it's not as simple as just saying, okay, well, I'll do my 2 highest damage bosses, which would be my water team and my wind team, and then do iron, right? Because maybe that leaves me with a terrible iron team. Because if I did say I did my best water and my best wind team, that would mean I couldn't use Siren, I couldn't use Crown, and we might need to, because I need to see, like, if I use Siren and Crown here like I am now, maybe that gives me more damage total by then taking in Siren and Crown off of other teams, and then they get slightly weaker, but the damage is still more across the board. You know what I'm saying? You love how Naruto literally throws hands? Yeah, for real. This boss is ass. Tell me about it. No, you won't need any healing unless you're like a very low level account. True damage, yeah, we'll do a run with Chisato. I was thinking about that. So this was our most damage yet. Okay, so Crown, Siren, Rappy, Eve, Mast. This was our most damage by quite a bit. Oops. Make this bold on my list. Okay, we're gonna run the same team and do a Nice, just to see like how crazy that gets, because we should get even more damage than we did with Siren. And again, I want to clarify, Mast is not necessarily the best here. I'll try it with Helm, but you know, again, I'm trying to keep it the same all the way across the board. Try it with Privity. So just, I need to find the best team and then tweak those kind of things. Maybe Ada for true damage? I mean, maybe. I tried Ada Wong with Snow White, and it was pretty bad. Which was partially due to Snow White not doing well, but it's not like Ada was carrying us that way either. You're back. back. Shisato and Ada, thinking she buffs true damage. Yeah, it's worth trying. It's worth trying. We'll do a run. Let's see. So this one is going to be Crown, Siren, Rappy, Eve. Oh, whoops. Not Siren. What am I saying? Anise. That was the whole point. We ran Siren last time. Anise. There we go. Ooh, yeah. That was way more damage. Which, again, not surprising, but that's enough more damage that it's possible we actually use this, because that's bringing this more in line with the damage of some of the other elements. Freema buffs true damage too, but yeah, unfortunately, I've been down that road. Okay, so just looking at this really quick. If I went with that team... Wait, that's the wrong team. If I went with this team, I can't use Anise or Rappy or Crown. I mean, we've like really juiced this team. We've used the best units in the game to try and make this like respectable. If I did this, that means I can't use, let's see. So I would use my Wind team in that case, because Nyuta's gonna crush it. I can still use Siren, so that could be good. But then if I'm using a Water team, where does that leave me? Nowhere particularly good. But could be decent. Anise is crazy, yeah. Bruh. If you aim at one of the 4 white things on the shield, does that do more damage? Yeah, Maxwell in theory could pierce through. I see what you're saying, Vic, but yeah. If Snow White isn't even doing a lot of damage, Maxwell is probably going to hit like a wet noodle. Thoughts on Leader? Is she still relevant with units like Star and East being burst 1? Yeah, she's still relevant. She's on the edge, but Leader will still see play in solo raid. And she's still very good if you don't have all the units, right? Like, she's a great stand-in as well. But she's teetering on the edge of being, like, 5th or 6th best kind of thing. It just depends on what you're fighting, what teams you're using. Okay, let's try a true damage run. It's just the moment I take out Rappy from burst 3 or take out Eve, I think the damage is going to tank a lot. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we'll use Chisato and Ada. Are they synergistic? Let me read Ada's kit again. Is that a thing? I love how simple Chisato's kit is. Most of them are like so like paragraphs to read. Chisato's just so simple. I mean, there is some synergy there. Does Chisato even have a cube, though? What is this cube that I gave her? Oh, I gave her the true damage cube. Alright, well, I better give her a cube to actually, like, be comparable. So I'll give her a resilience cube. And, I'll just take it off of Drake for now. Okay. Alright, we'll try this. And then if it's even remotely good, then I'll try taking out one of them and putting in Eve instead. I'm going to label these just so I can look at these easier at a glance. This is my iron group. Wind. Electric. Oh, fuck. Hold up. We need to be looking at Ada, though, so we get better burst charge. Vic predicts 8 billion on this team. That's not confidence inspiring. Okay, anyway, what was it doing? Wind, electric, let's see, fire. So I'm curious, how are you guys liking this? Like, is this interesting to stream? Do you feel like you're, like, interesting? Are you learning something? I did Union Raid testing a couple raids ago and went through a bunch of different teams and recorded the results. But I'm curious just to hear from you guys now. Like, I don't do this all the time on stream. Like, I test all my teams like this every Union Raid. But I don't always stream this. Is this interesting to you guys? Like, is this something you'd like to see more regularly? Doesn't Eve pop off better with a crit team, though? Eve brings enough crit on her own that you don't need to build around that. Like, as long as you built her properly for crit, like, you're fine. You wish things like true damage or pierce were more relevant in these cases. This enemy has a shield, and it looks like the most efficient team is simply one that hits hardest. I kind of know what you're saying. Like Pierce really feels like it should be good. And Pierce is a very strong ability. It's one of the best kind of things you can have in the game, honestly. It's surprising that Pierce is not better in this situation. It is worth noting that you don't necessarily need to pierce. Sometimes rocket launcher shots will hit behind the shield. So that can be a trick as well. Dr. Eagles says it's helpful. Sudden says you're learning a ton. Vic says it cuts down what we have to test ourselves. Enjoying it now that you're higher level and start caring more about solo/union raids. Don't mind this for stream. Feel like you're learning a lot. I mean, alright, cool. Well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Yeah, do it every now and then? Yeah. Well, that's good. So yeah, maybe I won't do it, like you said, like every single union raid. But, maybe I'll do this a little bit more often. Alright, so we got 8.9 billion. Dude, Vic was not far off. It's pretty terrible, though. This is our worst score. Our worst score we've gotten yet. Which, to be fair, I mean, I only have one copy of Chisato, right? Like, and same for Ada. So, I mean, it's actually not, like, as bad as that looks. It's just mine are lower stats. It's still not the way to go, though. It's still not the way to go. It'll be a good VOD for those of you to go back to that are lower level. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we got Crown, Rappy. Chisato, Ada, Mast. And this was, wait, what did I say this was? 8.9? It's big poo-poo, that's what it is. Alright, so 98195, oops, 9508 poo-poo. Those results are officially in. Alright. The other thing you can try is a full neutral team. Crown, Siren, Anise, Rappy, some heavy arms, and Privity. Yeah, so that's what I was kind of getting at. Like, if we start really doing some out-of-the-box thinking. So now that we've tried, like, every variation of Iron teams that could potentially make sense, I think we start trying just different stuff, right? So like I was saying, instead of Crown, what if I use Nayuta? Because I think she might actually be really effective here with her constant AoEs that will probably just hit behind the shield all the time. Now, if I'm using Nayuta, I'm committing to not attacking with the wind team, which means our burst 1 will also be Siren. And then we go back to, what, Rappy and Eve and I don't even know who to use as the fifth slot here, to be honest. And yeah, Vic, you could even go full neutral without even worrying about elemental weakness, doing like a Snow White heavy arms team. That's true, that's true. You'd think true damage would mean more, but it seems like it's a gimmick at this point. Yeah, true damage in general is not great. You're right. True damage is kind of gimmicky. The only time true damage shines is if you're fighting a abnormally high defense boss, which is really rare. There's very few examples of bosses that have such a high defense stat that it really ends up being the best thing to do. I don't know. What do I use here? Maybe Privity is the fifth unit. Just a generic attack buffer. I think we'll try this. Otherwise, you know, I'm looking at like potential using Helm here as an off-burst buffer. Or maybe just another off-burst DPS like Modernia or Mihara. Bring the mint support, yeah. Alright, I'm going to try this. I have no predictions on how well this will actually do. It'll be better than the last team, I can tell you that, but... Our burst gen is not particularly great here on this team. That's like the biggest downfall of this team, which might make Helm the better option here just on that fact alone. Because we don't have any rocket launchers or snipers on this squad. Dr. Hill says, need to head to sleep. Thanks for the stream, Sparks. Yeah, have a good night, man. Thanks for hanging out. It is getting late. So depending on how well this team does, if this is like the best team, then we'll try some variation of it. I'll try putting in Helm instead of Privity. But the thing is, if I do this team, this kind of screws me out of being able to do wind or fire. So then I'm looking at doing... water. Technically Privity is best, but it's like almost exactly the same as using Helm, so that's fine. It's gonna be like a very small difference. So I could do, I'm doing water, iron, electric. We haven't gotten to any electric teams yet, so maybe that will be the answer. If electric is a low damage team though, then I don't think I can go with this team, even if this turns out to be really, really good. Because it just, you know, it doesn't fit into that puzzle of the three different elements at that point. So, yeah. Depending on how good this is, we'll try another round with Helm, and then we'll move on to electric team. This is what? Nayuta, Siren, Rappy, Eve. It's not that amazing. It's decent though. Privity. Man, I was kind of hoping this was going to be better than it is. Niuta's not really popping off that much. So 17, 765, 397. So this is our third highest damage team. The best one was Crown and East Rappy Eve Mast. Which, if I went with that one, I wouldn't be able to attack fire or probably electric. So I could do wind and water and iron, which is probably the way to go. But we'll see how much electric pops off. But we'll do one more. We'll do the same team but use mast. I mean, not mast. Dude, I can't keep this track in my head anymore. We're gonna use helm. This will give us some better burst gen. Alright, final iron boss attack. Alright. So, Niuta, Siren, Rappy Eve, Helm. Alright, what do you think, guys? Is this going to be more or less than the run that we just did with Privity? I think Privity is going to give us a slightly better buff, but Helm is going to get us to burst quicker. I think it's going to be as close as makes no difference, but I think this will probably be... I'm going to say slightly worse than the last one. Sudden says, as soon as this stream ends, I'm getting Eve or Raven based on Sparks' video evidence. Good luck, man. There are some good ones. Lots of new toys in Electric now. Yeah. Electric was kind of like the weak one for a while, but it'll probably pop off. Everybody liking this disco crab music? Got Eve twerking to it. Also, on a real raid run, for any newer people watching, you'd want to be quick charging with whatever your rocket launcher or sniper was, right? So like with Helm here, I'd want to be like pew 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 until I burst, but for like long test sessions like this and keeping it consistent across everything, that's just not practical. But when you do the final run, you should quick charge. Okay, as predicted, this is extremely similar. Whenever I'm comparing Helm to Privity as off burst buffers, it's always extremely similar. But this is slightly worse than Privity. So we did 17.7 with Privity, and we're doing 17.2 here with Helm. Disco crab is arguably the best kind of crab. That's fair. All right. Fuck this boss. On to the next one. So just to recap, the best team for Iron was Crown, Anise, Rappy, Eve, Mast. However, likely would not use that team because we'd probably put Anise on a different one. The second best team was Crown, Siren, Rappy, Eve, Mast. Now, if I decide to go with that, I will also do tests swapping out Mast to put in Helm instead and see if I get a better result that way. Because it'll be very similar, but it's possible I get slightly better with Helm. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So weak point electric. So what are we working with here? We got Cinderella, Moran, Anise, Mari, and Maiden. So this is potentially where you might use Mint, by the way. So if you have Mint, I don't have Mint, right? But Mint, I could see potentially going in here because she's a generic just DPS buffer, which is basically what Mari and Bunny Aid are. Maybe you put her on a different team too, but just know that if you built up Mint, you might want to use her in a solo raid, or in a union raid, I mean. And I think Electric might be the best opportunity for her, but I don't know. Okay, so we're just going to run this to set a baseline. Just this team as is, but with Bunny Aid. There she is. Just to set this as a baseline again, like I said, and then obviously we'll try it with Anise and Neon and all that. But in the previous raid, this was the highest damaging electric team that I could do. Now, another thing I want to point out, when you're fighting Train, you're going to have long pauses if you're autoing it, right? Like, there was a few seconds there where they were just chilling because the Train was kind of like off to the side and they didn't shoot it. That's a common thing, okay? On the real raid, make sure you are manually aiming so you're getting in your damage to actually shoot the Train all the time. But again, just to keep everything consistent, the only damage that's relevant is relative damage, not total damage. So I'm just gonna let it go on auto and like do what it does because we're gonna do a lot of runs. Lower sync levels can't ignore the projectile rockets. Yeah, that's another thing pointing out. Good to point out. You might get killed by the rockets. And that's the case with a lot of bosses. Like, you might be able to ignore the QTEs. You might have to deal with the QTEs. It just depends on what level you are, right? In this boss, for me, so far, I can just let it do its thing and, like, nothing's relevant. Also, when using Maiden, you want to make sure you burst with her that single time, right? And if you're quick charging, it's easy to get in that max MP shot with her. I would do it here with the last few seconds left. But I'm not going to do that every single time we do this. Okay, so we did 16094 493 593. All right, so we will likely end up doing way more damage than this because now it's time to use some new units that weren't around in the last raid. So we're going to take out Moran. Actually, let's leave Moran at first because maybe we use Anise on one of the other teams. We're going to take out Summer Anise and put in Neon. And do we want to do Bunny Aid here? Let's see, Crown, Nayuta. I think I want to use Bunny Aid here. I don't really think there's a good reason to change that. Because like Grave isn't going to be particularly great in this situation. I mean, like, yeah, obviously I could put Crown here, but I'd probably use it on a different team. I'll do a test with Crown eventually. Bunny Aid is better than Mari. I've already tested that. And, I mean, Nayuta is going to be used on a different team, so I think we just use Bunny Aid here. The level cap is always capped 400, right? No. It is capped on solo raid. On Union raid, it uses your real level. Alright, so we're using Cinderella, Moran, Neon, Aid, Maiden. Yeah, you didn't know that it actually went by actual level? Yeah. Yeah, that's why I like to join my union. We have a level requirement. You have to be at least level 400. Typically, people are higher than that. But to even apply, you need to be at least level 400. Burst Neon first for her gauge. That is a good point. This is not really ideal positioning. But we'll finish this run. Okay, so what did we do? We did less damage. Less damage. Let's see, so we did 15, 4, 4, 1, 6, 3. 735. Do I have a cube on her? Tell me I have a cube on her. Didn't put the resilience cube on her. Maybe that's why we were doing less damage. Okay, well maybe we just need to do that over again. Alright. Dude, something made me feel like... Wait, no, I don't want to enhance cube. I mean, charge speed is good for her, but still. Who do I want to take this from? I'll take it from Chisato. Alright. Dang it. Alright, we're gonna redo this. I think, yeah, we're good there. Okay. Okay, so Neon, Ron, Cinderella, Fade, Maiden. Always check your gear, guys. Always check your gear. Did I tell everybody that I was starting Baldur's Gate? I can't remember if I already said that on stream. But yeah, I started Baldur's Gate 3. Never played it before, but doing a co-op run. It was like, it's probably a lot of fun either way, but I feel like doing it as a co-op run is just so much fun. You know, just like as if you're playing D&D with a group, right? Except it's in a video game. Have not gotten very far yet, like at all, but so far really enjoying it. Hold on, I'm gonna crack this window open. Baldur's Gate 3 romance tier list. Well, I have not even started to romance one person, so we might have to pump the brakes on that a bit. Ugh. I'm getting tired of sitting here, guys. I've been in this chair for a million years. Before I started streaming too. Alright, what kind of damage will we get this time? Extremely similar. That wasn't as much more as I was hoping. I mean, we're still doing less than when we used Summer Anise. Now that said, we haven't used Star Anise yet, so it's worth noting that this damage will go up. But I'm surprised. This was not particularly impressive. Get a treadmill, one of those like walking treadmills. Those are pretty cool, to be honest. I have a standing desk, so I mean, maybe that's the move. Instead of sitting here, maybe we switch to standing. Hey, now you can see Mesmer there in the background. Okay. So, now the real test. Okay, we're going to keep the same squad and we're going to put in Anise. Now here's where we should see a big spike in damage. And I'll try it without Neon and use... well, let's actually just do that first, just for interest. The thing is, Neon's going to get buffed by Anise a lot. And so even though we got better when we were using Miran, using Summer Anise, this should not be as good as when we swap in Neon. So we'll do this, and then I'll put in Neon, and then we should see even more damage. So Cinderella, Anise. Aid, and Maiden. Standing desk plus treadmill is god tier. Yeah, definitely for like working a long time at a desk, for sure. Although I'm fortunate that I get to kind of like move around a lot when I'm working. Still really like the fact that I have the standing desk. But like I do like kind of like walk around though. So treadmill is not as needed. Could you hear that person laughing outside? I don't know if the mic caught that. It was this lady like, ha 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 ha. Alright, what is your prediction, chat? Do we finally do more damage than the original team that I started with? So far, the most damage was still Cinderella, Moran, Anise, Aid, Maiden. So without using Neon, is Anise Star enough to buff this damage up a lot? Move my camera slightly. Maybe slightly more. There we go. She laughed because she remembered fighting Altacian. Everybody's favorite train. Dude, some of you guys don't know. If you're a new player that just started an anniversary or really recently, you don't know the nightmares that Train induced when the game launched, okay? Like, the Train interception boss was so OP, it was insane. Who here in chat remembers? Like, it's hard for me to convey the difficulty spike when you fought the Train compared to anything else. Like, the tools that we had available to us were just not cutting it at all. Like, we were decimated by that thing. Alright, so we finally got some pretty crazy damage. Because Anise is being Anise. Okay, so, 21, 137, 778, 417. Okay, so we should see another damage buff when we swap out Anise's twin Anise for Neon. Alright, so this team, Neon, Anise, Cinderella, Aid, Maiden. Oh, this little biological diagram of like Neon's X-rayed body. It's kind of funny. All right, what do you think? We did 21 billion. What is this one going to be? Does anybody think it's going to be lower than 21 billion? I doubt it. Weird, no attack from Neon there. I mean, again, when you're autoing the train, weird stuff happens. Like, because the train is moving around and they don't target it. But they do the same thing they do every time. Just make sure you're constantly shooting when you're manualing and doing a real run. It's just what they do. Right corner of the screen getting the workout? Dude, that's kind of true. A niece over there. Neon's fire rate is slow. Which is why charge speed is really good on her. We did go down! This is less damage. Neon is not the answer here. Now it is possible tomorrow, when I always do a last minute mock, if I'm manually shooting, it is possible there's a difference, but I don't see any reasonable reason why that would really make a difference. Again, all damage will go up, right? But like relatively speaking to the other damage, there's probably no reason to really think that that would change the ranking of these electric teams. Summer and East just did better. Yes, the boss really messes up the auto, yeah. Alright, so let me take a quick look at my different damage options here. Let's see, that's a difference of 4 billion in water. I'm going to talk to myself here a little bit, and then I'll tell you what I've decided. It's a difference of 3 billion in iron. Hmm. $4 billion in water, 3 billion in iron, 2 billion here. No, go iron. Oof. Dude. Rebuild Stout is messing everything up. Rebuild Vulcan. Sorry, not Rebuild Stout. Why does everything suck with Rebuild Vulcan? It's... Let's see. So I'm going to lose 3 billion damage here. That really messes things up. So we can't do that. Let me see. Let me use the calculator really quick. Man. Okay. It looks like the best total damage spread, if I commit to using the Iron Team, which I need to do, will be to attack with Iron and Water and Electric. Iron, Water, Electric. So the Iron Team I would use would be Miranda, Rappy. Oh no, that fucks it up because aid is shared on both teams. Oh no. I can't do that. Okay. Dang, I thought I had it figured out. Okay, I think I need to do one more electric run. And we see how much of a difference it would be if we put in another burst 2 like Mari. But wait, let me think. So if I do this and Iron and Water. Okay, I need to do 2 more runs. I need to test this with Mari, and I need to test this with Nayuta, okay? Because I can't use Bunny Aid here if I go with the plan that I was just thinking, okay? So we're going to mock this yet again. Hang in there, guys. We're almost to the end. So this one is going to be... Cinderella, Niece, Mari, Maiden. We see double Anise. Dude, I'm starting to see double of everything. My eyeballs are like, oh my god. Been looking at this stupid raid bosses for hours. This is, I would say, one of the more difficult Union raids to figure out. I think part of it is that we just got some brand new units, right? So there's a lot of new things to test. Like, particularly if you got Mint, you can throw her in here, which she would solve my problem, right? Is then I would just use Mint on one team and Bunny 8 on the other team. But, you know, and then we have Neon and Anise. And then the Rebuild Vulcan is, I would say, one of the most annoying Union bosses we've had. Any of the Rebuild ones are pretty tanky. The Rebuild Stout is significantly easier. And you kind of don't have to worry that much because it's much easier to take down its shield. This raid, I don't know, it has so many weird factors. So this should be slightly less, but I'm hoping it's really similar. Mari is generally very similar to Aid. Like in the last test, in the last raid, the difference was 1 billion between Mari and Bunny Aid. Alright, what do we get? 21-3. How is that possible? That's the most damage we've done so far. Again, there's some variance. We have RNG. Who knows, you know, if we crit more or whatever. But that is actually more damage than I got with Bunny Aid last time. With the exact same team just throwing in Mari instead of Bunny Aid. That is encouraging for sure. Because even if this was a lucky run or the other one was an unlucky run, that shows there's very, very little difference. That is very good news. Because that means I can use the plan that I was going to go with. But if I'm not attacking wind, which this plan would be not attacking wind, I can use Neuta here. Will that actually be better? We're about to find out. Can you swap Aid for someone like Velvet? I would only use Velvet on the actual Wind team. Velvet's really good. Use her on the Wind team if you're attacking with Wind. This is our final run of the night, guys. Final run of the night. What are your predictions? Is Nikke going to do more? Anybody who hasn't fallen asleep already? Do you think this is going to be the best run for electric? Or was the one we just did the best one? Using Nikke here is a bit unconventional, but Nikke is strong basically everywhere. She doesn't have to be on the win team. You know, it's just easy to use the win team because it's kind of like the obvious choice and it's going to do a ton of damage, right? But if you don't use that win team, you have options. Just posted your numbers in the union chat? Nice. That's what I like to hear. The more intel, the better. Will help people. Alright, what do we get? Oh, that's a lot of damage. That works. That works. That works for us. Alright. It was worth the last run. 4, 5, 7. What? 8, 4, 1. That was a big increase. All right. So I'm committed. So I'm going to be using electric, iron, and water. Okay, so that means I'm fighting the train, rebuild Vulcan, and heavy metal. So my teams for electric. Let me put this in bold so I remember. My team for electric will be Cinderella, Anise, Nikke, and Maiden. My team for iron will be Miranda, Rappy, Bunny Aid, Eve, and Summer Helm. Who saw that coming? And then water, which will be Crown, Siren, Snow White, Heavy Arms, Dorothy, and Privity. All right, guys. It's been a good stream. Thanks for hanging out. It's been a long one. Hope that was helpful. Hope you enjoyed it. Like the stream if you haven't already. I'd appreciate it. I know we already got some gifted subs and follows on Twitch and a few new subs here on YouTube, but if you haven't already, I would definitely appreciate a sub or a follow wherever you're at. I am an official Nikke content creator. I lead my own union. We have openings every now and then. If you're interested in joining, let me know, and we can put you on a list. We do have requirements though, so keep that in mind. But if you have a decent account, you have a good shot. So, yeah. Sorry we didn't get to any Dragon Traveler for anyone that was hoping to see Dragon Traveler. There was just too much to do for Nikke today. But hope you guys have a great night or morning, whatever time of day it is, wherever you're at. And I will catch you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.